All right, about to get started. There we go. Playing the song now. All right, so we're going to start the episode a little bit differently today. We're going to play this song by Oliver Tree, Cowboys Don't Cry, a day after he died in a tragic plane collision. Tragic helicopter.
Or was it Argentina?
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, it was over like an electric vehicle parking lot or dealership.
Same day, a woman, same country, died in a tragic bungee jumping accident where they forgot to tie her in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about just like worker stagnation, like autopilot kind of being disrupted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The autopilot for safety, like you should not be on autopilot for safety standards in general. Yeah, it does stink when those kind of things happen. And man, Oliver Tree, 32 years old.
I thought he was older.
Yeah, for sure. But he was a go-getter. He was relevant. He was just like all over the place. He was like the epitome of like alternative art pop in the sphere. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get on the air for sure. But yeah, it's just a crazy, yeah, it's just really sad. Yeah, because, you know, his music was really good. I was excited to see what kind of things we're going to do next. I hope they do like I think they might have a couple post music stuff that he made before.
Right. There's always like the half-finished song.
Yeah, because as soon as he releases an album, that's what most artists do is once they release an album, they go on tour with that album.
Yes, and he was on tour.
Yep, it was like one of his first world tours to do everything related to that and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah. So about another minute left in the song. Yeah, we've been so detached from Missoula this last week. I just don't know what's been going on in Missoula in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've not been catching up with what's going on. But I'm glad that the people in the data centers are like essentially like organizing, you know? It seems like they're a lot more organized than they were before.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get a start on the Missoula subreddit here, see if there's any interesting stories.
Yeah, we'll just talk about the big news, your movie.
Oh,
we're not going to talk too much in details, but we're just going to talk about, like, the behind-the-scenes stuff. A lot of people pulling their weight, everyone coming together,
absolutely.
A lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I cannot be happier with the cast and crew.
All right, about 20 seconds. All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, so that was Oliver Tree, Cowboys Don't Cry. But we're crying here today for sure because Oliver Tree tragically died in a helicopter crash yesterday.
Oh, that's got to be one of the scariest ways to go.
Oh, God, it's just insane. Like, you know, people go on the helicopters, you know, they see the statue up on the mountain of Rio de Janeiro and all that kind of stuff, and it's always like one of those kind of things, but it's just crazy to see those kind of things happen. And it's the unfortunateness of it is it's not uncommon for, you know, helicopter crashes in general.
Yeah. Do we know the cause of the crash? Mechanical failure?
No, it was two helicopters colliding into each other.
I did not hear that.
No, it was insane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just like nobody knows too many of the details. All I know is that it's a complete and tragic accident.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that there's a bunch of things flying in the air already in general, and helicopters have different kind of rules comparatively.
Oh, yeah.
And then you never know about their own FAA, you know, their federal aviation systems and towers and whatnot they have in their countries and their standards compared to the United States. Heck, even in the United States, we've had crashes. You know, it's just a really sad prospect, and I wanted to play that. And, you know, here we're in Montana, Cowboys Don't Cry. Yeah. So let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Last week we finished filming we were filming your movie last week.
Yes, we finished principal photography.
Yes. So do you want to talk a little bit more about it? You know, just to give some people a little bit of a teaser for upcoming movies.
What happens when... four friends. Sorry, I had to count the characters because one of them comes in later.
Right.
4 friends plus an extra move into a haunted house. Nothing good.
Nope.
Yeah.
So we utilized your dad's home in
Yes,
Florence.
my childhood home.
Your childhood home where you were born.
And raised.
Crazy.
Yes. Great location, 8.5 acres of property out in the woods. Perfect for a horror movie.
Yeah.
A unique little cabin with unique features, but I won't tell you what they are. You'll have to watch the movie to find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things, and I got to give props to everyone involved. Mason Slider, the first AD, who pulled everything together with everyone involved.
Aiden Slider,
Aiden, right there on doing the DP work, director of photography.
Yes.
We got some people. I'm in the movie for a bit.
Yeah. Woo, Scott.
Yeah, woo, me. And then most of all your 4 principal cast. We got a guy who came from Nigeria, who was visiting from Nnamdi. He's such a great character in the movie.
Oh, he went, oh, wait, okay, this character's comic relief, I got this. And
yeah, pretty much.
Then he killed it.
He just did it. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, like, he gave way more reaction than we even asked for, and it was great every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it when there's more to the script than what's written on it, for sure. And then it's like you can add some subtleties and add some things to it, like to see what it works, because who knows how you're going to interact with your fellow castmates.
Every single cast member brought something out of the character that I didn't know was there.
Exactly.
You know?
But because when you put these characters together, it's just like, how do you make them like not be generic this, generic that, so on and so forth? But there's like kind of like the nuance and other character choices that were made throughout this act that everyone just kind of stands out on their own.
Absolutely.
And like for me, like when making a movie, probably the one thing I definitely notice in most big movies is like the main protagonist is always like the person that we're supposed to attach to, like we're supposed to see ourselves in, and so a lot of times they have to be kind of a blank slate.
A little bit, yeah.
So I would say that the protagonist did such a good job with what she did.
Sarah playing Martha, our protagonist, just brought out so much emotion every time she was on screen.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, she was elevated from a small part, like barely 15, 20 lines, and then within a week she was elevated to the main gal.
Yes, our final girl.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And she did such an amazing job.
And because this is such a small budget film, like your buddy Tristan was also going to be composing a lot of the music for the movie. Just imagine the kind of music he plays during different times. So if you got along with him, you're going to get some good music. If you didn't, he's going to be playing. No, just kidding. Just imagine you're just like. I
gave him some homework. I was like, okay, go listen to all the 80s horror movie soundtracks.
Exactly.
You know?
The synths and everything like that. Yeah.
Go listen to The Shining.
Exactly.
Womp, 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 womp.
I also mentioned he should look into All Quiet on the Western Front, the modern version, because there's a 3-note song that plays persistently, and it's like an industrial song.
Yes.
And it just plays over, and it's very intimidating, but it's like it's such a good build up to.
It's good to have that motif, like Godzilla has a motif.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like when they did Godzilla minus one,
they brought it back.
But then they just the amazing music behind it in the second version is so good.
Yeah.
I just love the way that they did with that one. And then now they're doing the sequel to -1 to -0. Which they did a teaser, and they're going to apparently they did Godzilla right next to the Statue of Liberty, so I'm excited for that movie that's coming out. But this one,
our movie,
more importantly,
yes, hopefully will be out this year for your viewing pleasure.
Exactly. We got a lot of stuff going on this summer for sure. A lot of editing.
Oh, a ton of editing.
A lot of kids camps, and we still have some room in our documentary camp and horror camp. So we just did a horror film, and horror films are the best kind of films to do in general.
Oh yeah, you know, like. The art team always has a ton of fun on horror because there's always something to build.
Yep.
You know, in our case, they built like pieces of an amazing costume.
Yes.
So did the costumer. That was a very collaborative effort. You know, they were gluing moss into a jumpsuit at one point.
Exactly. It just the insanity of the amount of detail put in on like just the idea of like an old corpse that was just living under a well for such a long time.
Yeah. And you know, there's one scene that I was like, we're gonna have to shoot this, and then I'm gonna have to do it in CG, but we didn't have to. We were able to shoot it practically, and it looked so good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it all wraps up, pulls together for sure. Because there's so many things that I miss myself for sure. I missed the very last day of filming, and now is the big day of filming with the.
Well, you know, like when you shoot a film in 5 days. in our case with Anya and me, it was really helpful to have two directors, because if one of us had to go fix something offset or just to the side, we could.
Yeah.
And the movie didn't come to a grinding halt.
Right.
Yeah,
it was such a great experience, and it was definitely one of those things that you want to walk away from, like thinking like we did something really special.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody gets out and watches it, because I want to be able to do a DVD release.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Special features, director's commentary. You know what I really want to do?
What?
I want to get a group of people together who have no idea what the movie's about, have never seen it, and just tell them, okay, you'll play this character, here's a picture of them, you'll play that character, and then just let them kind of talk over it, like do a dub of it in real time.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah, I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a very similar thing too, don't I?
Dubbing stuff.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I never promote myself like at all if I don't need to, but I do a morning show called Wake Up Missoula, and one of the fun segments I do is called Dubbing Stuff, where I take an old royalty-free movie from archive.org, and I just basically just screen capture the video for about 2.5, 3 minutes, and then just redub all the voices. Yep.
Maybe we'll let you do a dubbing stuff for our movie.
Yeah, maybe. But no, the latest one I'm doing this week is called Montana Moon. I recorded it before the radio show. I like to do it before the radio show I can get some of the comedic things out of me, so I can get a good role for the next one. It's kind of like, when you stretch before you work out. That was my stretch before the radio show.
Yes. One thing about being on set for 5 days on such a sprint is that you really lose touch with the outside world a little bit.
Oh, 100%. Like, I was driving around Missoula just like, why does everything look different?
Right.
No, seriously, I was. I'm not joking.
I scrolled through some news articles the other day, and I was like,
this all happened? Exactly.
Huh?
Are you sure? Because it's like when you watch the news, it's just like, oh, is this really happening? And so he's like, are you sure? Because we've been teased this way for the last couple of months.
Right.
Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to bring that up, but you're listening to 101.5. We have a clip for you guys. This is actually from the Bonner Data Center Community Discussion and Planning Session. This is one of the mini MCAT programs. You're listening to MCAT Radio.
And in Virginia, most data centers are permitted to discharge into municipal wastewater systems, but there's limited data tracking of potential chemicals that are discharging into the water. Residents are afraid that it probably contains PFAS, which is forever chemicals. In Ohio, a report linked again to an Amazon data center is linked to rare cancers and health complications, with the company's water withdrawals making it nearly impossible to filter out the nitrates. So again, their low toxicity claim misses the point. Even if it's the glycol itself, they're completely ignoring the chemical cocktail they'll have in their towers. And so the chemical additives are deliberately, by the way, introduced to prevent corrosion, scaling, and biological growth, many of which are regulated pollutants, concentrated minerals and dissolved solids that can alter soil chemistry and harm aquatic life. Potentially heavy metals leach from the mixed metal surfaces, carbon steel, stainless steel, copper alloys, aluminum inside the cooling system. Missoula's aquifers are only source of drinking water. Yet again. And where is that part? Yeah. It's also important to mention that the Clarkford River is a Superfund site and bull trout critical habitat. The Upper Clark Fork River is part of the nation's largest Superfund site, having suffered severe pollution from a century of toxic mining and smelting waste. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent restoring this river. The Clark Fork River is also federally designated as critical habitat for bull trout, which are considered a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act since 1999. The Blackfoot is a sensitive, world-renowned fishery. It provides high-quality habitat for vulnerable wildlife, including bull trout and west slope cutthroat trout, and the watershed supports the diverse habitats. And it is a major recreational and economic asset for our county. The cooling tower discharge could harm cold water species. Data center cooling towers typically contain elevated temperature thermal discharge if they were to pour them into the river, It could raise the temperatures, harming cold water species like bull trout that require clear, cold water with clean gravel beds for spawning. So, important things to think about. Noise and EMF. Now this one's an interesting.
All right, so
This is like
there's a
my
little
first time
taste
really
of that
studying this.
data center
So
stuff.
I'm
We
gonna
have
go
the
through all
full
this stuff with
version
you again.
on our MCAT page at MCAT TV Missoula. You're listening to 101.5 KFGM. If you're interested in learning more about the radio station MCAT, you can go to MCAT.org or you can go to MissoulaCommunityRadio.org.
That's
All right. And you have a blender class tonight.
Blender 6 to 8. Yes, I had to postpone it last week for obvious reasons.
Yes.
But yes, Blender tonight 6 to 8 and Friday 4 to 6. If you want to learn filmmaking, animation, modeling, 3D lighting, whatever, come on down to MCAT and I'll help you learn one of the premier 3D tools. And the best part is it's absolutely free.
Yep, it's a drop-in workshop. You can sign up online at
even collect the
MCAT.org. Exactly. And so you can drop in. It's every Monday at 6 o'clock or every Friday at 4 o'clock. And yeah, we do a double dip. And anybody interested in either starting Blender or just picking up a Blender where they left off, it is a great resource to have somebody be like, hey, how do I do this? It's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on it.
Yeah.
And then if you ever get stopped, you can get help.
Because here at MCAT, the best way to learn
Yeah.
is by doing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And not to mention, it's always nice to have the component of an actual person to act as your a translator for, you can Google it, sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that can only go so far, because if you've ever seen any forums, especially on Apple, good
Yeah.
luck.
It's nice to have somebody point out exactly what
Yeah.
it is you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Or even show you and then back it up and be like, okay,
Yeah.
you
'Cause-
got the walkthrough, give it a shot and I'll help you.
Yeah, because anybody can go on a YouTube Academy, but it's always nice to have a resource in place for people who've been working on the same kind of editing softwares and things like that for over 10 years
Oh, yeah.
collectively.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy just to kind of the editing softwares that we've picked up. I know definitely some Premiere Pro for sure, not at the level like, professionals, but I definitely know Final Cut Pro at a level that's much better than most people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. I've been coming to MCAT since I was 11.
Yes.
I am 27 now.
Yep.
So that's 16 years.
Yeah,
16 years I've been editing.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
Crazy thing to think about in retrospect, for sure. You spent more time at MCAT in your whole life.
yeah.
More than half your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big chunk of my life, too, because I think I only really started coming when I was 17, and I'm pretty much already past the over the hump when it comes to half of my life. Seriously, yeah.
Well, that's a sad way to look at it, Scott.
It's not a...
That's a very glass half empty.
Well, it's like I said, it's the actual truth that it is half my life.
Yeah.
It is a very important component of my life. Like, honestly, I just don't know what I would be doing without it
Oh, yeah.
in a lot
Yeah.
of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my mom always told me when I was growing up that I would be a good teacher. I'm like, why? What? I mean, I do teach kids, don't mind you, but
you do.
like
You're
in
an
terms,
educator.
yeah, but in terms of like long term, it's like I don't know if I can survive the 180 days that you have to have with a lot of the same kids and all that stuff. So
Right.
that's a like I got to give props to the teachers. And anytime that there's like a levy or anything like that, me personally, I'll always vote for a levy that helps the teachers more than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else is just kind of like, oh, you want to build a building? It's like, maybe, but I'm more interested in funding teachers. Because you can
Yes.
build a facility, but you can't build a good apparatus of great educators for the next generation.
That's right.
I don't want stupid kids,
Yeah.
plain and simple. And I see a lot of young kids, and they come in here doing projects and stuff like that, and I see a lot of just like I see their spark.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing their go-getter attitude and their ability to overcome some of their own shortcomings when it comes to learning basic editing.
I see a lot of kids come through here and then they realize that they have the freedom
Yes.
to learn it the way they want to learn it.
I mean, I would love it for some of the kids who actually did take our courses to kind of follow up and just grab a camera, rent it, check it out, which we
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
and be able to go out and film their own movies.
We'll hit harder on that next time. They don't
Yeah.
have to be done just because camp's over.
Because we have a couple hardcore kids that kind of do it themselves. Kincaid is a great example.
Oh, Kincaid's awesome.
Like seriously, he came here already with the mindset of I want to make movies. That's all I want to do. Blah blah blah, and he does it anyways, despite the fact he may or may not use our equipment. He's
Yeah.
already had everything he needs. He has his own cool gimbaled camera and everything.
I love that thing.
It's great. It was our secondary camera in our film shoot.
Yeah, and it came in clutch.
Yeah.
It really did. You know what I just watched in my very little free time last week, Scott?
What?
I just watched all of the Among Us show.
Really? You watched Among Us show from Paramount Plus?
From Paramount Plus. I was like, Elijah Wood is in this.
There's a lot of people in that
a
one.
lot.
A
Ashley
lot of
Johnson.
people. Yeah.
Which,
Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, he played the live-action Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Why do I know that? I don't know. I know him from Legion, the ethics show about mutants.
Even a bit of Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah, Patton Oswalt. If there's an animated show and Patton Oswalt's not in it, it's not a good animated show. I'm just saying he has to be in every animated show.
Remember, he was in Word Girl.
That
was after your time.
That was definitely way after like a time because I was all about Arthur.
Yeah.
And apparently, just so you guys know, Ziggy Marley, the guy who did the Arthur song, will be in Missoula on June 26th. He's playing at Kettle House Amphitheater.
Tickets are already sold out.
I don't know.
I
don't know. You check it out.
Boo! Play Arthur.
No, he probably will. Every day when you... No, I'm not going to do it. But I will play music right now for you, and this is from the Garden City Strings. They had a recital, and so here is a little taste of that. And when we come back, we'll talk about some things that we learned on Reddit. All right, so there's a little taste of the Garden City Strings. They had their recital a couple weeks ago, and you can watch the whole thing on MCAT at MCAT TV, Missoula, on YouTube. All right, we also played on our channel 189 and 190 for our civic government channel, otherwise known as the C-SPAN of Missoula. I'm saying it. I'm going to make it a thing. All right, so let's talk about what was your deep dive into Reddit? What did it prove?
Well, apparently air quality was awful yesterday, despite being incredibly clear.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy thing. Do you know anything more about it, or was it just in general?
I haven't found anything else about it.
It just so happened to be poor air quality, even though it was clear skies. Because every time I think about poor air quality, I think of the smoke settling in, but it was like blue skies on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what was going on with that. Maybe maybe it happened close to the monitors where they were monitoring the air quality.
Yeah, maybe.
You just never know, because I think there's like 2 monitor stations. One over at the airport, and I think another one up on next to Chief Charlo, or maybe one of the parks in Chief Charlo. I think they have like a little area that does it.
Yeah. Other than that, I can't find anything that's too interesting on Reddit today.
Not much.
Yeah. Some people looking for roommates. If you want to,
All right.
you can look on Reddit, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some more appeals from the American Prairie. So American Prairie is an organization that's trying to reintroduce bison. They didn't get that renewed contract from the state, and the governor of Montana went against them, particularly in favor of big cow or big farms and everything like that. So let's see. As the result of the lease cancellation, American Prairie has halted an annual bison harvest program, which would have issued 17 hunting permits to members of the public this year. And tribal nations argue it will have negative impact on food sovereignty programs. June 4th, American Prairie filed its appeal with the Department of Interior last week. A conservation organization, Defenders of Wildlife and Western Watershed Projects, also appealed for this one. And, Montana officials argue bison grazing is a risk to state ranchers. So, they were on the side of ranchers in this particular case. And the organization has around 900 animals in its herd, and it has been seen grazing under the Bureau of Land Management Authority. And this is an article written on Missoula Current. This is written by Micah Drew. If you want the full story, you can go on to MissoulaCurrent.com. I didn't want to read too much of it. I just wanted you guys to know a little bit of information on that.
Speaking of news here, I see that the Missoula Parks and Recreation Department is maybe looking at getting a new batch of security cameras.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
It says here that they will not have the ability to read to read license plates or have facial recognition.
Not to be confused with the flock cameras that are located at the Southgate Mall.
Yes, but there's an article about that on the Missoulian.
Okay. Nice. You're going to check that out for sure?
Yeah, I'm sure there's also articles for that on every other local news source.
Right.
But that is the one I saw here on the Reddit.
Right. All right. So, let me see. Tonight we have a city council meeting. They're going to be covering various things. I believe for some of their topic are talking about, let's see here. Give me a second. They're replastering the Missoula Current's pool. Missoula Park's trip hazard mitigation. So they're trying to work with Precision Concrete, cutting to the amount of $99,000, $849. So this is the idea for trip mitigation on public sidewalks. So you imagine, public sidewalks, making sure that the sidewalks are level, because if somebody gets hurt and trips on the sidewalk, they're going to have to sue somebody. So they're trying to do these programs to move forward on that. Parks and Aquatic Security System upgrade. Like you said, they're going to be spending $366,000 pending the request for approval for budget amendments. And they also have to adopt the Reserve to Scott Street Master Plan. So they're officially going to adopt the master plan for the North Side Scott Street Reserve Street area. The whole area where Story House is and all that additional property in the industrial area. So they're going to be annexing that into a lot. They just annexed that into the Urban Renewal District, and now they're presenting their master plan on what they want to do with all their zoning. And that's definitely on their consent agenda. And of course, they're going to be talking about the regular business, which has to do with budget and finance, because it's getting towards the end of it's their kind of like their budget season over the summer. The city of Missoula works through their budget on their fiscal year of 2027 budget launch. and they're going to have a budget timeline as listed referral, specifically requiring that the budget amendments be submitted in writing to the clerk and finance director no later than 5 p.m. on August 3rd. And then from there, they're going to vote, amend, do all that kind of stuff. Let's see. There's also going to be a Climate Conservation and Parks Committee report. Committee of the Whole is going to do their report as well. Housing redevelopment is going to talk about some things as well. So these are many of the things involved in some of their committee reports as they're moving forward with a lot of things. Because, it's budget season. A lot of these organizations, a lot of these departments within the City of Missoula will be presenting their budget for fiscal year 2027. Be like, hey, we can do with this.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're doing our job as effectively and efficiently as possible. So this is the time where a lot of presentations will be happening through a lot of different committees throughout many Wednesdays. So Wednesdays are definitely the best times to kind of look at how the budget works and everything like that. And then Mondays is the kind of like aiming towards final approvals for a lot of these things. So there's your little bit of that city council minute here and there.
Tell Us Something is going to be in Bonner Park tomorrow.
Yes, I heard some of their Tuesday night story stuff that they're trying to kind of do as well. I think they're doing it at certain locations. And what's the theme of this one?
The theme of this one is the power of place.
Nice.
Yes. If you want to go, seating is $20 in advance and $23 at the door.
Wow.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and I believe it is usually MCAT is usually there when there's a Tell Us Something. So if you're ever interested in seeing some of the older videos and stuff that we've done with Tell Us Something and Mark Moss over all these years, you can check it out on MCAT TV Missoula. And with that, I'm actually going to throw it over to some things. This also has to do with filmmakers. MCAT also has a filmmaker collective, which meets every second Tuesday of the month here at the library, starting around 5:30. We're in the Cooper Room. This time, they're doing a Skillshare workshop, and here is a clip of a segment from the Skillshare workshop. So here is it.
You don't get that muscle behind you, but the industry's in a real flux right now where I'd say, yes, SAG productions come here, but there's been this trend of ultra low budgets. And I actually had a really well sort of locally known casting director tell me, stay non-union for as long as you possibly can. And that is, because once you do join SAG, you can't flip back and forth between union and non-union projects. You can only do union, SAG, union projects. So the ULBs are nice because if you're non-union, you can do them, but you can't get eligible on those. You can't become SAG eligible. So there's SAG eligible, and then there's just FICOR, and then non-union. And for those who don't know what FICOR stands for, it means financial core. It's just short for that. So you pay some dues. You don't get as high as pay as SAG, but you can do non-union work. But you don't get that, union protection or muscle behind you. Does that answer more thoroughly your question? Okay.
Although legally, probably the contract would protect you, even though SAG is not going to be as aggressive. Right, but legally, the contract that you'd have as FICOR would be the same with the production. You would just have to be the one going in there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I guess I had a similar kind of statement, what's the benefit of unions? There is a huge benefit in unions. But Carly, maybe you can answer this for me. Can't you get waivers for some of this stuff, or is it only waivers if, I know we've gotten SAG waivers before.
Waivers.
Yeah, I believe that productions can essentially pay a fee if they want to hire a SAG actor to be on a non-union project. It costs them a lot more money. And I think they have to install certain protections and additional, aspects on set to meet SAG standards. But I do believe that they can pay certain penalties I think I've seen that with a couple of productions as well. So I think it can go both ways. Same thing, like Blake was Taft-Hartley on a union project. That was a waiver that production paid in order to hire a non-union actor. So.
Awesome.
All right, so there is a little bit of a taste from that film collective. You know, Misha is the kind of like the spearheading all this kind of stuff. Not to mention, I've probably heard a lot of people in the film, especially film enthusiasts in Missoula, talking about the 40-hour film festival.
Yes, that's coming right up.
It's
here.
really close too.
Yep, I was thinking about doing it this year, and then I made a feature, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. 40-hour film fest. In Montana. It's going to be 48 hours. You have 40 hours. They'll give you a prompt the day of. And, the entry fee is $178 for your team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's going to be a lot
Maybe
of things
next year.
happening, and it's going to happen from the 26th to the 28th of June. So mark your calendars, and it is a great way for getting into festivals, proving yourself. And there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. I mean, there's been a lot more eyes on it. I've spoken to the people at 40 Hour Film Festival. Heck, it's a great way to, if you can pull something that's memorable, you get eyes on it, and it's a great way to meet people and organize and do all that kind of stuff. And, collective organizing is always such a great thing to do.
Oh, yeah. And, it's really great in that it's a good way to build a crew and just make something. And, once you've made something, it feels so much easier to make anything else.
Yep. So it's going to be virtual via Zoom. The kickoff is 5 o'clock on June 26th, and the drop-off will be 7:30 p.m. So it's not necessarily 48 hours. It's a little bit of extra change there for some people looking to get involved with that with while still being in the vein of it. So the idea is that they want you to finish by 5 o'clock on Sunday, and then they're talking about the concept of uploading your video to the right resources.
Yes.
But as soon as you have your thing in their hands in some form, electronically or otherwise, or even pending, that's proof of concept, and so you'll be able to get away with it maybe 49, 50 hours. So look out that. And so the whole idea is that the premiere screening is Saturday, August 8th at 3 p.m. It's going to be in Helena at the Myrna Loy Theater. I totally butchered that. And also do have an award ceremony at 5 o'clock the same night at the same location. So a lot of fun stuff happening there. It's, we had Yellowstone come through Missoula the last couple of years. It was a big production, stuff like that. And we were kind of witnesses.
Yeah.
And we weren't so much involved with the process as opposed to maybe being a featured extra that says, hey, man, look out.
Look out.
Yeah, seriously, there's always kind of like those kind of things for sure. So,
Yeah. Missoula's own Austin Valley had a video about that. You saw it, Tornado County.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Joel showed you that one, I think.
Yep. It's been a while. I completely spaced that one, too.
Yeah.
I mean, because I do remember, because they did a bunch of little fun short films over the years, and they've worked with a lot of locals here in Missoula big time.
Let's see. He did, was it Austin Valley who did M Squad?
I think so, yeah. I want to, yeah.
Yeah, and the you listeners at home, you're probably like, what are they talking
No,
about?
seriously, that's like a 10 years ago kind of like, it was like a big kind of thing that they did for, was it Do It in 72?
It was the Do It in 72, yeah.
Yeah, they did, it was mostly a lot of green screen stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they did such a great job
It was
with that
it was a whole short film that built up to one joke.
too. Really was.
And that was great, honestly.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's like, that's such a great premise and a great payoff for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so this week, we can't forget the fact that it is Pride Week.
It is.
A lot of events happening in Missoula. I have, wait, where did I put that list? I had a list too. There it is. All right, so for this one, Missoula Pride is hosting all sorts of different events, and if you're taking the local Missoula walking tour, for your donation, $5 will go towards Pride and many of the programs they're doing so they can continue this moving forward. They have a big event that's happening tonight. It is a Speak Out and Stand Tall non-surgical gender affirming care. This is going to be at FMC Books starting at 6 p.m. tonight to kick off many of these kind of events and whatnot. There's also going to be a panel here at the Missoula Public Library around the same time in Cooper Room B from 6 to 8 p.m. Missoula Pride and Blue Mountain Clinic presents One Size Does Not Fit All, and it talks about gender-affirming adult health panel. And then for Tuesday night, they have their Kink Trivia Night. Test your knowledge on Kink Trivia Night. Bring your friends for an informative, exciting round of trivia packed with fabulous prizes. And this is at the Rooster Cafe, starting at 6:30 p.m.
Yes.
on my side of the woods,
Yes,
near the Franklin to the Fort area.
That's right. You're like right next door to that, aren't you?
No, don't dox me.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no. I don't mean right next door. I mean in the area.
I'm in the area for sure. I'm probably closer to the school than to the Rooster Cafe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I actually saw their food truck the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the big old rooster off of Reserve Street if you ever get a chance. And then on Wednesday night, there's going to be a Jane Eyre orphan governess, gothic heroine, queer ? And this is from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Missoula Public Library. Celebrate Missoula Pride of the Library with a fascinating look at the literary classics. Dive into Charlotte Bronte's masterpiece and explore the hidden layers. She's the one that did that one movie that just came out, Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
So she was part of that, and she's also a family of writers. I was told this by a friend of mine.
Yes.
And themes of that question, transitional gender roles and identity, a thought-provoking discussion honoring inclusion and community. Because if you watch Wuthering Heights, it's a white guy and a white girl. In the book, he's not a white guy.
Yeah.
So that was like the kind of like the big thing in that era, because it was like Victorian era book. So it's like,
Yes.
unheard of.
Yes.
For the,
Well,
especially
and
at
then,
that time.
I won't give too much away, but Anya is still working on her pilot for one of the Bronte sisters' books.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I won't say which Bronte sister, I won't say which book, but it's really good.
Nice. And then, of course, Wednesday, they're going to be, the Pride is going to be doing Kink Bingo at Rooster Cafe again, round 2. Sexy Trivia Night, Draftworks Brewery again. And then you got Daisy Chain Art Collective presents Queer Pride with Jay Graves, The Scurfs, and Goosh Slam is going to be at Zootown Arts Community Center. And this is going to be a late night performance. So, yeah, it's going to be fun with that one. And DIY Gear Night and Kink Taster. Explore your horizons on a Kink Taster and DIY Gear Night. Learn about the kinks directly from experienced practitioners. And so that's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. And the location is to be determined.
TBD.
Okay, and then, of course, they have the Paddleheads are hosting a Pride Night on June 18th for their game. And it's the 8th annual Pride Night with the Paddleheads. And it's family-friendly, fun-filled sports bringing Missoula Pride. And you can learn more by going on to MissoulaPride.com for all this stuff. And as we get closer towards the big day, which is going to be the parade on Saturday, Thursday night, we have the annual Revival Pride Comedy Night. This is at Zach. They're hosting a comedy night with an emphasis on pride with LGBTQ plus jokes and laughter. Friday, you got the Missoula Pride Fun Run, because you can't have an event in Missoula without having some kind of run. So Run Wild Missoula is tapping into the Missoula Pride theme. Non-timed 3-ish mileless fun or walk. Wear your best rainbow or pride, and this is happening from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Juneteenth on Friday. So Juneteenth, library will also be closed on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And this one is another one that's happening for all ages. Zach is doing, what is furries? What are furries? So from noon to 1:30 p.m., you can join the Unagi, the Chimera from Flathead Valley Furries,
okay.
for an educational presentation on the furry community. Learn about fur suits, community history, and the fandom culture
Those
in an
suits
exclusive.
are expensive.
Exactly, thousands of dollars, mind you.
For a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the top of the line ones, they'll even like have digitigrade stilts.
Yes,
And it's like,
it's a whole thing.
yeah, it's a whole
thing.
thing. I'm honestly, just impressed with how much effort goes into it.
No, seriously, the kind of effort and the culture they bring behind it and everything like that. And then as we're speaking about culture, Two-Spirit. They're doing a Two-Spirit powwow at the Karis Park. This is from 1 to 5 p.m. at Karis Park. The Two-Spirit Society are hosting the 2nd annual Missoula Pride Two-Spirit Powwow, a celebration honoring the past, present, and future of Two-Spirit people and their deep generational ties to this land. And then there's also happening on Friday later from 4 to 5:30 p.m. That's Zootown Arts. Zootown Arts is the place to be. Sexpert exclusive, the sex talks you actually want. So joined licensed sex therapists for an open, honest, and shame-free panel addressing everything you'll ever want to ask about pleasure, intimacy, relationships, and identity, and of course, kinks. This is 18 and plus, and RSVP versus through their website as well.
It's sexcellent.
Yep. And then it wouldn't be a Missoula Pride without a rally. So Rally for Our Rights is happening on Friday, also at 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And speakers and more details are to come. And we also have a Missoula Pride Smokeout. This is also at Rooster Cafe. They're really diving into a lot of their events this week at their location. There's Missoula Pride Burlesque. You don't want to stay shy of those burlesque shows. Here in Missoula, the burlesque shows are a different breed in and of themselves. So you want to check that out. This is going to be at the Badlander starting on Friday at 7 p.m.
I've only been to one of the MizCon ones.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'll be amazing.
Which is
for sure.
also coming right up.
Yeah. And then, let's see. And then there we have some Monk's Bar is doing a late night. It's a Devil Said Jump and the local sport from Judith Gap and Dark Eyed Junko. This is going to be at Monk's Bar starting at 9 p.m. We also have Kalina Zanders with Mick Murray at the Zootown Arts Community Center performing that night, Friday night. So Friday night's going to be all sorts of things. Logjam Presents the Jen and Juice and Suka Missoula Pride After Party, and this is starting at 10 p.m. at the Top Hat. And on Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., Zach is doing a Navigating the Genderverse. Presentation is created and facilitated through Transvisible Montana Collective members with intention to create a brave space for folks to gain education regarding the challenges that misinformation and cis-normative systems created for transgender, non-binary, and two-spirit Montanans. Pull your own pride pint. Noteworthy Paper and Press is doing magic of printmaking with a quick hands-on experience. Printmaking will help folks print their own pride poster for the cylinder press designed and tapestry at Noteworthy. And then we got more and more happening over the weekend, but of course we can't say anything more about Saturday except for the Pride Parade, which the Pride Parade officially begins at noon. Missoula Public Library, MCAT, and the radio station 101.5 KFGM will be in attendance for the Pride Parade.
That's right.
Blasting out some queer-friendly music and some party music for everyone to enjoy and dance to. So you're going to want to enjoy that. It's going to start at noon over off of 4th Street as it goes to Main Street in one of the shorter parades of Missoula, but still one of the most impactful parades I've noticed in the last couple of years. It's grown. It keeps growing. Lots of people on the bridge. Everything's going on. It's such a fun time for everyone. And then essentially they'll have their block party. They're going to close off Ryman and Main Street, all party all night long, all that kind of stuff. And basically Saturday is going to be where everything peaks with everything happening there. We got we have Missoula Pride Sensory Zone. So need a breather from the parade music and block party. Step into the Pride Sensory Zone at the ZAC Conference Room. So if you're getting overwhelmed with all the joy and fun of the Pride Parade and everything around it, chill out and at ZAC.
Quit it.
Stop. Are you mad? Stop it. No.
Get some help.
Get some help. But anyways, yeah, and so...
And remember, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Pretty much. Thanks, Captain Lou Albano. Yeah, and then, pretty much, there's so much going on. I'm running out of breath.
There is a lot going on this month.
Yep.
Well, it's 12:50. We're almost at the end of the lunch hour. Scott,
Yeah.
what do you want to eat today?
Oh, man. What do I want to eat today? I definitely want some pizza. I'm craving some pizza. Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Definitely some bridge, but you're going to make your own pizza.
Yeah, we're going to have the fresh mozzarella, some pepperoni.
Yeah, I'm definitely debating between getting bridge pizza or just cooking burritos, but then I have to stop at a grocery store to get it anyway, so
Oh, yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you should make yourself some of those quesadillas.
Mmm.
Very garlicky, the ones you
I
get.
love
Very
putting garlic
good,
in.
yes.
Yeah, I love putting garlic in, and it gives a nice little kick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to make my own, and
Is that like it, just like diced garlic you put in there? Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, just diced it, and then I use a grater just to grate the cheese to help it melt a little bit faster, and then
Totally.
and then I use some of that Kirkland butter.
Kirkland butter.
Kirkland butter, yeah. And then of course I use peppercorn to give it a little last minute kick. Probably one of the most important ingredients if you want your food to taste better.
Yeah. Oh, Scott, I completely forgot to tell you this, but the biggest reason it's a shame that you weren't there on the last night is I was talking to the scripty Ellie, and we both started talking about how we need to consume Pralo's.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
I was like, Scott would have loved that.
That would have been so good. That's funny.
Yeah, I just remembered that. So anyway, I want Prilosec OTC for lunch. It'll bring you joy.
Thanks, Larry, the cable guy. Yeah, I have another clip for you guys as well. This is from City Club Missoula. This is actually the state of journalism in Montana and local communities. So here is one of the speakers, Eric Whitney, senior editor on the national desk at NPR and bureau chief of the Rocky Mountains and Great Plains. And so, yeah, here's a little taste of this, just talking about that.
You as a business wanted to get your word out, you needed to go to the guy with the printing press and pay that person whatever they wanted to charge so that you could get your message out. And local newspapers were making pharmaceutical company profits for a long time, 20% margins. That's gone. And one of the reasons I got into public radio was because I was dissatisfied with the small number of outlets. There was only 1 or 2 newspapers in a town. There were maybe 3 television stations that may or may not be doing much in the way of public news. And I was like, we need more voices. And public radio was this small niche where we could, people who didn't have access to a printing press or the broadcast spectrum could get on the air and tell their story. Or we could go to places and tell stories that weren't of interest to the people whose job was to provide holes for advertising. So there was a long time when I was in community radio and we were fighting that we need to democratize media and we need to give more voices are always better. And fast forward to now when everybody has a printing press or a broadcast studio in their pocket and anybody can say whatever they want, and they do. How's that working out? So the challenge now is for folks like us who want to do the public service that I think we believe journalism is, to give people the information they need to operate our democracy. The challenge is for us to find our audience and to convince that audience to support us. And those can be challenging things to do. It's a lot easier to find your audience, to figure out where, and I think Montana Public Radio is really good at this, is to figure out where they fit in the local news ecosystem, and play to those strengths. What are the stories that need to be told? What are the areas that are not being already reported on by the other outlets? And how can we give people something unique that they come to us to support? So.
All right, so there's a little taste of that. So if you don't know, that was the voice of Eric Whitney. He's a senior editor for on the national desk of NPR. So talking about the state of journalism, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is interesting because there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of people talking about where's my local news or where's this stuff like that. I don't really like going to the Missoulian because there's a paywall, and even if I go there, it's like blah blah blah. And it's kind of kooky because I remember there's always some like big stories happening in Missoula on a certain regular basis, but now it only feels like if there's a big story, it's like sometimes it's like Missoulian does have like a breaking story that everyone's like, oh, this is really interesting, but no one ever actually reads the whole story because it's behind the paywall. Most people don't want to pay for the paywall.
Yeah. The paywall.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about local journalism in general?
Well,
like the state and everything related to that?
Yeah, I think local journalism is great. I think we're getting a lot more of it recently.
Yes.
With like outlets like The Pulp.
Yep.
I mean, we lost The Independent.
Yes.
So, but we gained The Pulp also.
Missoula Current. There's
Current.
a lot of fingerprints on a lot of those different small ones.
Current, even the Kaiman.
Yes, the Kaiman. Yeah, they were very like subject to just University of Montana news.
Yeah. Like
I don't know how much they actually.
I think they've been able to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
At least in opinion pieces. And then, of course, you've got outlets like KFGM.
Yep.
And here at MCAT, Missoula Community Access Television, you can make your own news roundup show if you want.
And for me, like my beat is just city council. Like I watch city council and I regurgitate it and I show clips on my show. Yeah. Just to kind of get an idea.
You get a lot of news out that way.
Yeah, you definitely get a lot of. There's so much news out of the city of Missoula for sure. Just a lot of things that they're doing, a lot of things that they're up to. Just in general, just to kind of see what the like future plans for different areas are.
In fact, I know other news sources use MCAT here to aggregate a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, it is a dire strait because, like, I just heard recently that even, like, KPAX is not doing their nightly show, and they exported their nightly show, and a lot of their local news anchors have to go to relegated to morning shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's definitely weird and dire times because you have a corporate model of news, and you have many upper heads that say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that," and a lot of it changed, especially during the pandemic, where we're just like, let's have a little softer news to make things a little bit less stressful for a lot of people at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems to be like a lot of the same stories you hear all the time, every day. I mean, it really feels like Montana news is always related to, oh, our public lands are being threatened again, and again. And it's like, and then nothing really happens. And we just keep on hearing it's being more threatened, and then just nothing happens after that. It just keeps more threats, more things
Don't
happening.
even get me started on the political ads.
I know, right? Oh, yeah, that's why.
All hat, no cattle.
Well, that was like 2016. That was when that was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It lives in my head rent free.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, that's a good campaign ad. Honestly, it's a good campaign ad when you still remember it 10 years later.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, we're talking about the ad that was against John Tester's opponent for Senator Rosendale.
It was Rosendale.
Yeah, where he was talking about he's all hat, no cattle.
I remember the ad more than I remember who it was against.
Yeah, I just remember Trump coming down to Missoula trying to promote Rosenberg. Instead of calling him Rosendale. He just shows how much he actually cared about him. It's kind of funny in that regard. Yeah, it's kind of funny how the things we kind of remember in general. I remember one of my college chums who went to journalism school with me actually had an interview in Trump's plane with him. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to see some of those pictures and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was telling a lot of people just like, I know he's in Missoula, and a lot of people in Missoula don't like him, and a lot of people who came to see him were not out of towners. Were from out of towners for sure, but that was a big part of it. Is like I also told people like there's never been a sitting president who actually visited Montana.
Yeah, not sitting.
Not since Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you know.
I remember when Obama came on the campaign trail.
Yes.
But yeah.
All right, that's an interesting note to end it on. A little bit of politics there, but I just wanted a little history tidbit of what's going on and whatnot. So. This is the end of the show.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us for MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
You're listening to 101.5. Take care, everyone.